There she
Woo!
is. Hey there, Nicole.
Hey, Laura.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you. Who's excited?
I'll put this on speaker view, and it's recording. Okay, good. All right, we're good.
Cool.
Hang out.
She should be on in a few. How's everyone?
Good. This is like, for most of us, the middle of the day. We have people that are like taking off work and taking breaks and, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's I think she's, as you know, 8.5 months pregnant. So I think by the end of the day, she's
Just
gets
done.
run down. So she likes to be at peak energy. So where are you guys based? Where are most of you located?
Where are we?
Obviously all over, but
I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Cool.
Several of us from Houston, Texas, Louisiana. I'm trying to see who else is on here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there is anyone on the call who has been in any of her test groups?
I was.
I know you were, but I'm thinking anyone from your team?
No.
Oh, cool. All
Next
right.
time you can call me and I'll say, hey, these people need to come do a test group.
Yeah. Well, you're all going to get a chance to very soon to get the product and be part of a coach test group. So that's exciting. We'll wait for her to come on. The only thing I would say, Nicole, we run a lot of these calls, and a lot of people hosting the calls don't know Ilana and haven't been through the program. So we've been like kind of hosting, moderating. I know you have all the questions, so you can obviously speak from your experience, and the questions we gave you are a guide, but since a lot of the questions have been answered, some of the people on the calls this week have watched the champions videos.
Yes.
So they had other questions that they wanted to answer. So if you want to go off the script and ask specific questions that pertain to your team, you're more than welcome to do that.
Let me mute.
Cool.
Loud. I don't know. Okay, I think we're all muted. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, we're good to go whenever you are.
Cool. Well, do you want to intro, Ilana?
Yes,
do you want me to intro?
For sure. Okay.
Good. All right.
Welcome. Thank you for making time in the middle of the afternoon for most of you. Hopefully we'll have people pop on as they get lunch breaks and stuff. I am Nicole Grafton. I have been a coach for almost 4.5 years now. And I got to do this amazing test group in February. And actually my husband is on the call. You can't see him, but he's on here. And it was kind of a game changer for him. He's watched me lose 75 pounds or so coaching and has just struggled with his weight. He just struggles. And when we decided to do this, or we got offered to do this, he was like, I'm all in. What are we going to do? So date nights were videos with Ilana. And we would sit in our bed and take pictures of ourselves watching videos. And he is so close to getting below 300 pounds. So close. And I told him when he does that, we're going to throw a party. And I am a serial Whole30 21-day fix beginning and end program person. And this has just been so refreshing to be able to eat what I want to eat, see the scale go down and feel good and not have the food guilt. And also from a marriage relationship, he doesn't have the food guilt. So we don't have like the arguments over food prep and what do you mean you ate that for dinner? And I can't believe we were eating this on a date night. It's like, oh, we can eat this. It's on plan. And we know the scale's going to go up the next morning. So what'd you eat for breakfast? So anyway, Ilana, you have become an integral part in our house, and the team that's on and will be listening to the recording has gotten to see me share this, and they know me and they're amazing. And they are like, I think more excited than I am, which is hard to believe. So that's it. That's us. We just love you. We're excited to learn from you. And
thank you. So happy. I'm a very, very big believer that healthy habits foster healthy relationships, and you'll hear me say that a lot, like positive people, positive weight loss. I even just heard a statistic yesterday. I don't know this just blows my mind. I can't even imagine it is so accurate because it's just so unbelievable to me. But I read a stat that said if you're sitting next to someone on a plane and they buy candy, you're 70% more likely to buy candy. Like, it's just so crazy how much our surroundings influence our actions. And so everyone on the call, you're very lucky to have Nicole. as a coach in your group, because it really takes a group dynamic to really foster the positive mindset that this whole program is kind of founded on. So, yay. Thank you. Oh, you're muted. Can't hear you.
Unmute myself. Can you tell a little bit of your story? I know Lauren and I were talking like, this is like your 19th billion call, and I really do have some specific questions for you at the end that are specific.
Okay.
But they don't know you like we know you.
Okay, so I'm going to go under the assumption that no one's heard my story. But it is on the Beachbody Champions page and the Beachbody Facebook page, which is really cool. So I won't go. I keep saying I'll try not to go in as much detail, but I can't help it. So I'll just go for it. Basically, my name's Ilana. So nice to see all of you. Thank you for being here today. And yes, I'm a registered dietitian, but I've also lost 100 pounds and had to learn how to keep it off. And it was based on my whole childhood of just struggling with my weight, being totally preoccupied with food, overly excited about food in every capacity. My whole family were foodies before that term even came out. We were the food-focused family. Everything was about, like, you know, if we were going to a wedding and everything, it was like, who's catering? What's the cuisine? Is it sit down or buffet or smorgasbord or cocktail hors d'oeuvres? Like, everything was just revolved around my thinking always. And I was very, very, very food focused. If we were going to the carnival, like, I was asking, like, does that mean we get funnel cakes? Does that mean we get cotton candy? Like, that's where my head always went. So I just kept getting I was really a chubby kid, big kid. I was always stood out in so many ways. I was just much, much bigger than my friends. And when my parents got divorced when I was 4 years old, I think that's where I started taking a turn into just loving food and lots of it, into also like an emotional outlet, and how I saw food and just used it as a form of stability and comfort when, I was struggling to find emotional stability in the home, as we were moving around a lot. There were marriages, there was divorces and all that stuff that just kept reoccurring. So food became my staple, and whatever, you name it, I ate it. And in extreme large volumes, mindlessly, while watching television at night, like jars of peanut butter, like orders and orders of lo mein, like whatever it was. And I could get my hands on it. I just had it. And my doctor started becoming increasingly worried because my health started taking a toll, and I started really like climbing over those charts. And, I just kept climbing and climbing, and my weight was far surpassing my height growth. And I was gaining so much weight year after year, and started dreading doctor's visits even as a little kid because it kept being so embarrassing. And my labs, my blood sugar levels, my cholesterol levels were also worsening. And that was the most shocking part to my doctor, because she was saying that, like, she's never, like, at that time, pediatric obesity wasn't as common even. And she was really shocked to see such high blood sugar, high blood pressure come from such a little kid. And so at 8 years old, my doctor and my parents actually sent me to weight loss camp for 9 weeks. When I was 8 years old, I was in the youngest bunk. And, you get there, you go on the scale, you weigh in, you measure, you take your before pictures, and then you spend 9 weeks getting pre-portioned meals, working out 10 hours a day, having these nutrition classes. And like, it's pretty much like weight loss boot camp as an 8-year-old kid. And I actually liked it. I made the most of it. If I were there, I would just, thought, like, why not have fun? And so I lost about 30 pounds that summer, but then I came back to school and I just gained it all back and more. And that just became my pattern. If, we didn't change as a family. So, and I didn't change as a person, and, I was too young to get my hands on anything. And there was no diet available that ever made sense to me, because I watched my parents diet. Both of my parents always struggled with their weight. I watched them do Atkins. I watched them do South Beach. I watched them do whatever was hot at the time, Pritikin, which is the equivalent now of Whole30 and keto and paleo. And they're all just different forms of the same thing. Yes list, no list, restrict on this and binge on this. And I watched it all happen time and time again. I watched them always gain their weight back, and intermittent in between. It was binge like crazy, preparing for the next thing. And I just watched that chaos my whole life. And I was so distracted, like unattracted to it, thankfully. But I always loved to eat a lot of food and live my life in the fullest way. So I had to find a better way, because this yo-yoing every summer wasn't really working, because I ended up doing that pattern for about 6 years. So I would go to camp every summer, lose about 30 pounds, come back to school and gain it all back and more. Lose 30, gain about 45, lose 30, gain about 45, 50, whatever it was. And so I kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger over time. And my highest weight, I was 215 pounds and I was 5 feet 2 inches tall. I was really big. I just posted on Instagram today some before pictures, and I think people are like always shocked to see how big I really, really was. I was really wearing size 20. I had to order it online. I posted a picture today. Like, I remember when I fit into size 18 jeans, I was super excited, but they had snap buttons and they, popped open the first day I wore them after I lost a few pounds, and I was still not ready to fit into those 18s. So I couldn't fit into regular stores. I had to custom order things online. And this is when my friends were still in kids' clothes. So I was really an outlier. And that's when I decided I have to change my mindset, because I was literally letting my childhood just escape me. Over this time, I wouldn't join the basketball team or even try out. I wouldn't, want to try out for plays and stuff like that, because I was just so afraid of the attention. I was so afraid and insecure that that's what everyone was talking about, was my weight constantly. So I just didn't let myself participate in all those fun activities that life has and involves, because I was just being so weighed down by this physical and emotional weight. And that's when I decided to change my mindset and get it together. And so going into high school, I decided to go back to camp that summer, lose as much weight as I could, but this time with the intention of not letting it come back on. So I came back, I started high school. I went from 215 to 185. And that was my thing. Don't gain this weight back. No matter what happens, just don't get it back this time, Ilana. You can only lose weight from here. You're letting your whole life escape you, and you need to get it together so you can live your best and healthiest, most vibrant life that I always felt like I was, but I wasn't exhibiting on the outside. And so I did. And so I started pulling in tools and tricks and strategies that were working for me to ensure that I at least wasn't gaining my weight back. And it started working. And I would, make sure that I'd go on the scale at least a couple of times a month. So I wasn't again starting the next summer up 40 pounds with it, being so shocked that I had some sort of monitoring techniques. And then I also started learning weight loss techniques. How can I still go to pizza with my friends and have pizza and lose weight? Even though I'm a volume eater, even though, I like to enjoy. And I started using different tools that I just started piecing together, and systems and approaches to eating so I can do that. And for the first time, I started losing weight on my own. So not only was I not gaining it back, but I was actually teaching myself how I could keep living my life and start losing weight gradually and steadily over high school. And I knew that I wanted to become a dietitian, because I had been seeing dietitians since I was 8 years old. And I knew that if I were going to be doing this best for myself and making a career helping others do it, that I wanted the most credible, evidence-based practice behind me to ensure everyone was doing it in the best way possible. So I went to get my bachelor's of science degree in dietetics. I became a registered dietitian. I later went on to get my master's degree in nutrition dietetics. And all along starting to really work these strategies. And I joined a sorority, and I still was able to drink at night with my friends and do all the late night eating and still get married and kind of work out how I can keep losing my weight in my system and approach. And I was very open to learning. I was very open-minded, and I just wanted to learn from anyone I could who seemed to have a really good, positive mindset and refreshing and ease into eating. And maintaining a good weight. So I just picked up whatever thing I could, tried it on myself, and tried to perfect it on my own. And once I got my degrees, and I was down about 75 pounds at that point, UCLA hired me. And UCLA hired me, and they gave me a 12-week program to teach 100 UCLA employees on weight loss. And in order to be part of the program, you had to have to lose 40 pounds or more. And I had 100 UCLA employees of all different demographics. People who are 19 years old, working in the kitchen on their feet all day, women who are 75, postmenopause, sit with desk jobs, administrative jobs, and everything in between. Nurses, people with PCOS, women who just had babies, people who could work out, people who had injuries and couldn't work out. Every nationality. I had Greeks, I had Italians, I had people fasting for Lent, I had Jews, I had everything, and had to teach this broad class on getting all these people to lose weight coming from such different perspectives. And that first semester in 12 weeks, the average weight loss was about 12 pounds. And it was my first time using my personal system, working it onto others. And we were happy with the weight loss, but wanted to keep improving it. So I ended up teaching the UCLA class for 10 semesters. And every single semester, the weight loss average kept improving from 12 pounds to 14 to 16 to 18. And in this process, in teaching in a group setting, I got to speak with each person one-on-one. So if you were part of this group, you also got private one-on-one sessions with me. And it was in those private sessions that I would really start to get it. And I started realizing, okay, I'm teaching this class, but now this person one-on-one is starting to divulge to me, but Ilana, I'm still struggling with this. And Ilana, you're telling me that I should have this for dinner, but you don't get it when my mother-in-law comes over and says that things to me. You don't understand how much I just want to go for the cookies. And, I get what you're saying, but I'm still self-sabotaging in this way. And I get what you're saying, but I feel like I hit a plateau and all these things. And I started hearing people's inner thoughts and starting to realize, I feel the same way. And so does he, and so does she, and so does all these people. And that's when I started realizing, like, weight loss is yes, it's nutritional, but it's so much also more so behavioral and emotional. And I started realizing all these things that I have to create systems for because nothing else exists like it. So I started realizing, oh, wow, he's a volume eater, as am I. How can I approach that? Like, if people just want to eat more, I need to create a system for that. What do I do for this person if they're not an emotional eater, but they're at a Super Bowl, they're at a Thanksgiving, they just are going to be around food for a while? What's a system I could create to approach that? This person keeps saying this in their head. What can I get them to fill their head with so that they're thinking something more positive that would actually get them losing weight? So I started, through working with thousands of different kinds of people, I started creating these different systems, and they started getting better and better and more effective while working in my private practice here in Beverly Hills. And that's when it just got better and better and better, and the weight loss averages just kept climbing and improving. And by my 10th semester at UCLA, the average weight loss was 24 to 25 pounds in the 12-week period. My private clients were seeing also incredible results. After that, I also had my daughter, and I had to enter in weight loss mode again. And that's when I lost my last 25 pounds, broke through my, plateau that I thought I always had by just using this system that really like narrowed in and focused and got really, really perfect. And that's when I met Beachbody. And for the past 2 years, I've been working with Beachbody to take what I had, and we've just been optimizing and perfecting it and blowing it up in such a better way, with Lara, Caitlin, all the New York and LA office just taking it and really making it even so much better. We started our first test group with 50 people about 16, 17 months ago. And you'll see the weight loss is like 60, 70, 80, 90 plus pounds, and are actually keeping it off for the past 6 months. Since we took the testimonial pictures, several people in that first test group have actually lost more weight, which I think is like a beautiful thing for Beachbody in terms of test groups. And it's super exciting. And now I'm super excited to share it with all of you and have you get that same experience, if not greater and better, as it keeps improving and evolving.
Well, we're excited too. Okay, can you tell us what is 2B Mindset? It's hard to explain without.
Yeah, sure. So it's a video-based program. So when you get it on May 2nd, you're going to get streaming access to about 40 videos.
You'll get mini Ilana. You can just put Ilana on your shoulder.
In your pocket.
Yeah.
And it's about 40 videos. And the first 26 are the breakdown of my program. And it's the equivalent of having literally like 10 to 15 private sessions with me. So it's video based, and, watch them carefully, take notes on them. They're short because, we got them really tailored and good, but like, feel free to watch them over and over again. If your kid sits on your lap during one of them, or you start texting someone, you're going to want to watch again and again, because there's a lot of really good information packed into 6-minute videos. So it breaks down like my foundational principles, like what you absolutely have to do every single day in order to stay on track no matter what, which is, will only take a few minutes a day, but that's really what the foundational principles is, what it always comes down to, which is what I've noticed with thousands of people. It always comes down to what I call my 2 bunnies, which you'll learn, which is what a lot of the 2B mindset, a lot of that stands for, like my 2 bunnies, which you'll learn in that first video. Take your time with that. Once it sinks in and you get into it, then you can, keep evolving. I'll tell you how do I break down my food groups. I'll show you how to approach breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack in a way that is so feasible and flexible for your everyday lifestyle. So I'm never going to tell you like eat asparagus and chicken at night for dinner. I don't believe in that because life doesn't work that way. So I'll never tell you exactly what to eat, but I'm going to show you like what you want at every meal for optimal weight loss, energy, satisfaction, mindset, and everything else. So you have enough flexibility to keep living your life so it's sustainable and fun, but enough structure so you actually see results, which I find is like the perfect combo. Then I'll break down like how to set up your kitchen for success, how to go to the grocery store. That's like the longest video because I'm literally taking you aisle by aisle, showing you like how to shop for food in a way that is budget friendly, efficient, helps you like get past those like silly aisles and distractions and everything that's trying to pull you in the wrong direction, how to stay focused and smart, and to set yourself up for success for the week. There's videos showing you, but Ilana, I'm traveling. Now what do I do? There's a whole video on how you travel with the 2B mindset. But Ilana, I don't cook. I order takeout. I totally come from that background and understanding. We do the same in my household. Sunday nights, especially whatever it is, there's a video of me at a table. It's called Don't Cook with a stack of menus. Let's order Thai. Let's order Mexican. Let's go to a steakhouse. Let's quick and grab at something like 7-Eleven or Starbucks. How do I make a meal out of that? So you learn how flexible you can be with this program, but still have, the structure and tools so you can keep losing weight while living your life. And then we have a video on emotional eating. Obviously you're not going to watch a 4-minute video and that's going to cure your emotional eating, but I show you the processes of like how you are going to overcome that. There's all these videos just discussing all these questions you have, like, but the scale went up. Now what? And I feel like I hit a plateau. Now what do I do? And Ilana, I feel like I completely fell off. Now what I do? So there's literally a video addressing like all these aspects and questions that you have to ensure that you have all the answers and tools so you can keep losing weight. But obviously it's really the coaching, being part of Nicole's group, being part of my group. If you're a coach, definitely get in my group starting May 2nd, because that's really where the mindset comes alive. And then there's additional recipe videos that are super fun, quick. Like most of them are under 5 ingredients. They make big, yummy, delicious meals with all the flavors you love. And you're going to be shocked that you can eat these meals and still lose weight. And then it also comes with tools. So once you get on May 2nd, you're going to get shipped a box. And the box will also come with PDF materials will be accessible online right away, but you're also going to get a box of a go-to guide, a getting started guide, a tracker, a water bottle, like these incredible tools that we've been working really hard on to ensure that you have best success.
I'm so excited.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just going to dive right into a couple of questions that the team has had.
Go for it.
Watching me. Okay. So they knowing this program is about mindset, how should someone who has been told to follow a specific nutrition plan, like, will this work for them? So for example, you mentioned PCOS. I know the answer to this, but I want them to hear it from you. They have something specific where they cannot have gluten. They can't have meat. They can't have.
You can do this program 100% if you're gluten-free, if you're dairy-free. Some people say they have digestive issues. They could only eat cooked food, not raw food. It doesn't matter. There's so much flexibility built into this program that you can do this if you are picky to certain foods, you don't like certain foods, you do like certain foods. It's flexible enough that you can follow whatever, thing digests best with you. You pick your own meals. I'm never going to tell you exactly what to eat. I'm just going to show you how to set up your plates and your meals for best success. But there's an immense amount of flexibility. If you have any sort of condition or you're allergic to something, you can make it work. Does that answer that?
I think so. I think we have.
And the thing with PCOS is like, it's so fascinating to me because it used to be a really rare condition. And now I can't believe how many people are talking to me about PCOS and how many we had in the test groups without realizing it. I think we've had like over a dozen, at least, women with PCOS in the test groups who are just as successful as everyone else, if not more. Like Lindsay Weiss keeps posting, and Dee Dee keeps posting. Like we have a coach who did our first test group who's down like 80 pounds with PCOS. And she started the program going, I won't be able to lose weight. I have PCOS. And then I was like, can you just get over it and do it? And she literally was like, You're right. And after she did not lose that much weight in the first few months because she had that mindset setback. And those seconds she realized, like, let me just do it and go for it, she lost more weight in month like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And even this past month, and we started with her 16 months ago, like she keeps posting that she's actually down 10 pounds since that we took the testimonial pictures of her, and she has PCOS. So a lot of women with PCOS are going to their doctors. They're very excited to just tell them, you know what, I actually could lose weight with PCOS. And then, there are several women who are breastfeeding doing the program, and they were, in this headspace of, I got to eat so much more. How am I going to do the program? And they realize, like, there is flexibility with the program. Like, I show you, if you need to eat more, how to do it. And you can always make tweaks and learn from them and how they work for you. And one woman in our test group is so cute. She showed a before and after of her, how much weight she's lost, and also before and after of her son who she's breastfeeding, how chubby he's gotten in the process while she keeps losing weight, and getting over that whole, like, I need to eat 500 extra calories and all these things, because you're going to relieve all those paranoias with this program. You're going to realize you are eating a lot of food and you are feeling really full and satisfied, and you will keep losing weight, and you don't have to count calories or be over obsessed with grams or anything like that in the process, which is really freeing.
Okay, so on the other side of that, so here, this is actually one of my personal experiences. Now, if I have all of this freedom, how do I avoid the, like, I'm going to binge, it's free for all, I can have whatever I want? Like, we're so used to structure, we're so used to color coded and calorie counting and whatever, that now you tell me I can have a glass of wine and I will have the whole bottle. What's going to keep me from having that free for all mentality?
Absolutely. And listen, there is enough structure in this program that you learn and you see results. So you are always going to be losing weight or learning how to lose more weight. So some coaches and some people who've been doing so many overly restrictive things get so excited that I say, like, you can treat yourself, that they do overindulge. But I show you how, like, if you spiral, I catch you in your spiral really quickly. So there's never again that you'll never again your whole life find yourself like how I did in my childhood, like gaining so much and feeling like you're starting over. You are going to catch and learn from things immediately. And you're going to realize, like, all these things that you found comforting are actually not that comforting. And that's how you actually start to uncover that emotional aspect of your eating. And you start to realize, like, who am I revolting against? I'm not revolting against Ilana. I'm not rebelling against her because she's not telling me it's off limits. What is that underlying reason why I'm feeling like I need a whole bottle and not just a glass? And you start to learn to that and come to that. And that doesn't happen necessarily in a day, but it does happen. And I also show you, like, a process of going about treats. So, a lot of people think they have a sugar addiction. I'm getting so many messages of people like, how are you going to deal with me if I have a sugar addiction? We all have a sugar addiction. It's proven addictive. Several studies prove that sugar is addictive. So I'm going to show you how to choose treats that are not as addictive. First of all, how to read labels and choose foods that are actually designed to not be as addictive. And I'm also going to show you a process of going about treats. So we have them in a way that we can enjoy them once we're full and satisfied off of the good things, which puts us in a much less vulnerable, stronger state for being able to enjoy that dessert and going about our day. So you can still lose weight and feel really in control over your food for the very first time. So it's actually, while these foods are not off limits, I show you that if you're going to have a treat, how to best go about it. And if you do find that you overindulge and whatever, you'll realize very quickly, whoa, that wasn't even fun. That wasn't even worth it. I actually feel crappy. And it totally changes your mindset. And you start to, like, all these things that you used to put on a pedestal, like, but I love chips, but I love wine, but I love all these things. Like, you'll still have them, but you're actually going to start to look at them very differently. And you'll actually, that's the thing that people can't, like, put their finger on. Like, how did Ilana do that? Like, how did she get me to think so differently and not be as excited about these things that I used to be? With knowledge comes power. I'm going to super empower you with so much tools and systems and tricks and tips behind you that you're going to be amazed at how differently you see food in such a more positive way that helps you and your mindset, but also into your weight moving forward.
Which is so true. I would just say I am a control freak, and it's empowered me to control those things. When I want a treat, I can have it, and I have zero guilt. And then Patrick and I the next morning, like, okay, we had our 4 pillars and we're good to go. Okay, we actually have several coaches on our team and then people that they've attracted that have had weight loss surgery. And I know I asked you in our test group about this, but are there modifications that I can help them with? Are they able to do this? I think, they realize that it's obviously a mindset switch, but.
Yeah, this is such a big demographic in America, especially now. There's like billboards all over, like 1-800 weight loss. I mean, these weight loss surgeries are so common. And unfortunately, just like I said, like in working with people, I've realized weight loss is just as much nutritional as it is emotional and behavioral. And I can't tell you how many people have come to me super obese and told me they've gotten these weight loss surgeries. I mean, it's like the one common denominator between every diet you've ever done or seen and the weight loss surgeries is it's like such a quick fix. It's only focusing on that one aspect, nutritional, and you're never getting to the deep of it. And so I find people who get the weight loss surgeries, and also it's not just I found, studies prove the weight gain happens. I once had a client I'll never forget. She had the weight loss surgery. She was about 300 pounds, and she was actually really short. She was massively obese, and she couldn't eat a lot at one time because of the band in the sleeve, but she still had a food obsession, a food addiction, and loved manipulating food. And so she just found a way to literally eat as many calories as she could, like every hour, and like a filtered focus. So I totally get it. I've worked with tons of people who've had the weight loss surgery and gain it back, and then start to see me because they have to get to those they have to uncover the real thing that's going to help them. However, the program can definitely work for someone with this condition, but you have to modify. So I think like the big thing with this program is like everyone can do my foundational principles. That's really what the program's about. Everything else is my recommendations for most people to lose weight most effectively, but it does take tweaking and modifying based on your condition, and you just have to know yourself enough to do that. So if you, like I tell people to drink a lot of water. I love to drink a lot of water. I find it's filling and satisfying, and you'll see how I talk about that. If you have the sleeve and you can't drink as much water as I'm recommending, okay, so like you don't maybe have it at one time, you sip it slowly throughout the day. Like you just have to know yourself and modify so it's safest for you. Definitely get approval from your doctor. Definitely be in close supervision, and like you just have to be smart about it. Like it's like I can't, so I want to make a legal disclaimer, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do this program with it, but you have to consult with your doctor. You have to know your body. You have to not push your limits. You have to know when to stop so you're not stretching your band or whatever it is, because I eat a lot of food. So I recommend like everyone could eat more and weigh less. But of course, if you have something restricting your stomach, like you don't push it or else you're going to have an issue. So I just think everyone has to know themselves, pace themselves, learn the approach and everything. But if you have a specific condition you're concerned about, like be cautious, be conscious, work with your doctor to ensure it's safest and best for you.
Yeah. And I would say it's same thing. They have the same quick question about anybody with diabetes. Woo.
I'm getting a lot of questions about diabetes. Obviously, like a lot of people call the crisis in America right now diabesity. It's like we have a very strong correlation between obesity and diabetes right now, because every 2-pound gain increases your risk of diabetes by 4.5 to 9%. How crazy is that? 2 pounds. I mean, think about how easy it is to gain 2 pounds. So obviously diabetes and obesity are highly correlated. And that's one of the greatest things that come out of this program is people get told by their doctors after doing the program, they drastically lower their risk of diabetes, which is amazing. But if someone is already diagnosed with diabetes, our meal plan is not necessarily designed for you at all. So I worry that people risk going into low blood sugar zones because it's not designed for a diabetic. So again, you have to get permission from your doctor. You have to work in very close approximation with your doctor. You have to make modifications needed. And I don't actually recommend anyone with diabetes do this program from the start at all. So because it's not designed for diabetics. If you are diabetic and you really want to do it, Obviously, because there's such a big diabetic population in our country, there are probably people who have diabetes who are going to do this without me approving it. But like, if you know those people, you have to make sure that they are like working with a doctor. They're obviously making modifications they need, and blood sugar control is their number one priority. They have to be in good blood sugar control, checking their blood sugars regularly, which they should be doing anyway, and ensuring that their blood sugar is in control first and foremost before they're following the recommendations of this program, obviously.
Okay, this is one of my favorite questions I got this morning. It seems like it's overwhelmingly positive. Like no one has ever had a bad experience doing this. And I was like, well, no, that's because we haven't. We all loved it. And she said, but does the program fail? Does anybody fail? If it does fail, what happens? And I was like, well, I can tell you when it fails for me, fails, quote unquote, just means that I've learned I can't have wine at night. I can have something else at night, but I cannot have wine. Or we were talking about exercise, and it's still hard. It is for me to see the scale go up, but I know exercise is good for me, both from a mom perspective and from a body perspective. So I have adjusted my exercise so that the scale doesn't go up all the time. So I told her, I was like, well, I'll let you answer. There really isn't a failure per se, which is why it's so positive.
Yeah. Basically what happens is I provide the best information I can to you so you see the absolute best results for you. There's a lot of recommendations and tips to this. There's a lot of tools and strategies that come with this program. I talk about my foundational 4 principles, but there's literally embedded like hundreds of little catchphrases and processes and systems within all the videos that you have to keep catching. If you are not losing weight in this program, it's because you're not doing everything. There's always something you can do to see more success. Anytime anyone's complaining or frustrated with their success, with like how much weight they're losing in the test groups and program, I say to them, well, bring it back to those 4 principles. Can you amp it up by 5%? Each one. And then they do. And then they're like amazed at how well it works. There is always something you can do to lose more weight. There's always something you can learn from. There's always another tool. There's always another video. There's always another thing that you can pick up that you weren't doing before that you can do. So that is just how it works. I can provide all the information. It's up for you to put it in motion to see the best success. And luckily, doing these programs, we haven't had any negative responses. If anyone wasn't losing the weight they wanted, they were very open and honest with, but I haven't even been doing it as much as I should be. And then when they do put the effort in, they realize how well it works. So, I mean, this has not only been tested on like hundreds of people in the test groups. This is something I've been working on for, years, working with thousands of people. And in addition, everything I'm recommending to everyone is also based on research and proven effective for long-term weight loss success. So everything works. It's up to you to do it. So, I mean, there's been no complaints, because if anyone didn't see the 70, 80, 90 plus pound weight loss that some other people were seeing, they were also very clear with, well, I really haven't been doing what I should have been doing. So I recommend right now, today, you promise yourself you will put the effort in, because if you put the effort in, you see the results. I mean, it's literally unbelievable. So luckily, like, I've kind of designed this program and system to take very little blame, because like if someone's complaining online, May 5th, I don't like it, but that's I know I could still sleep at night, because I know that that's going to be coming from you having to put the effort in. And a lot of people self-sabotage. A lot of people know this program works, know they can do it, know their bodies love losing weight, which is something you should all start believing and saying today. Your bodies do want to lose weight, but their mind is still believing they can't. Their mind is still believing they struggle. Their mind is still believing that they're, destined to be overweight, which none of us are meant to be. And they don't let it be successful because they feel like they don't deserve for it to be, or that they're worthwhile enough to put that effort in. And that's one of the saddest things, but that's one of the strongest realities we have in this program, is that it does work. It is super effective, but you have to believe that you deserve to do it. You have to commit to it. You have to let it work for you. And I'd say, Nicole, one of the most eye-opening things is that for me in the past month, I always work with people with the weight loss program. So I meet people on day one. And then when I work with a private client, I meet with them on day one. And with the test groups, I meet everyone on day one. Now, in the past month, we've been promoting this program and I'm meeting people 30 days before. And that's the first time I've ever done that. And what's coming, what I'm hearing from people is so negative, is so self-sabotaging. I'm getting so many messages, and on yesterday I did a Facebook Live and on Beachbody's channel, and there's so many people saying, but I'm going to fail, but how could I be as successful as that? And it seems too good to be true. And I understand, like, we like 2 weeks out, the only thing that everyone should be focused on doing is believing that there is a better way, believing that you don't have to, count calories and restrict yourself in order to live your best life. You don't have to undergo the keto flu. You don't have to avoid all these things. Like, shouldn't be, there's such a better way. You can eat carbs. I'm going to show you how you can eat them and still lose weight. There is an approach to it. It's not that you can eat all you want, and it's not that you can't eat any, but there is an approach to eating them with purpose that helps you get the energy from them, get the health benefits while seeing weight loss. There is a better way, and you will learn it with the 2B mindset, and you're going to be so happy you did.
Can you just stay on the call all day? I could just listen to you all day. Thank you.
It's so sad to me how hopeless everyone's gotten. And I think this is a good time to launch this program. I was telling Lara, like, it's all in timing. Like 2 years ago, I said to Beachbody, let's launch today. And they're like, no, we're going to take our time and develop it. And I do think we're at a better time today to launch it in society than we even were 2 years ago. Because I think today people are, thinking more of like, everything has to be individualized, right? Everything is more individualized. Everyone should realize now there is not one solution for how to be successful in business, how to be this. Like, everything takes tweaks, everything takes personalization. And this is like one of the first programs that exists that really will show you how to personalize. And one of the coolest things that comes out of the test groups is when people say, it's so funny, the three of us are all successful and we're all eating completely differently. And that is why everyone sees positive results doing this program, is because you're forced to make your own best system, and I show you how to do that. So the first month might not be the best month. And that's what we see in the test groups, is that the first month is learning it, understanding it, learning the trial and error, figuring out your best system, figuring out your best approach. And what we keep finding in the test groups is that people tend to be losing more weight in month 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, even month 16. We have people in the first test group who are all saying this week that they're all like amped up and have like these goals to lose more weight by launch, and they have been. So it really comes down to you putting the most into this, so it becomes effortless and great.
Okay, if anybody else has questions, y'all can type them in the chat. I have one more, really.
Yeah.
What can they do now to get ready? What can they do now to prepare for
definitely that. Start believing you can. Start believing you can. Let go of all of these excuses that have been plaguing you. Let go of these stories that you've been telling yourself. Your body does love losing weight. Your body wants to lose this weight. Let it come in with an open mind, come in with an open heart, do the program, and just do it, and obviously I love skeptics and I love questioners, and I love when people come in like believing it's too good to be true. Please prove it wrong. Like, prove it wrong by giving it your absolute all, and see what happens. Like, that's fine. Like, it's okay if you have that perspective, but just have that open mind and open heart and give it a chance, because it really works. And the other thing I would recommend is that people get a doctor's appointment. That's what I'm really, really pushing. I want everyone to get a physical. So many people have been telling me that they've been avoiding the scale for years, and so they avoid doctor's appointments because they're scared to see it. It's really important that you go to a doctor. It's really a good idea to get your labs taken, get your blood sugar levels, your cholesterol, your triglycerides. As scary as it's been, it's really important for your health and well-being. And in addition to looking good in your clothes and feeling sexier in the bedroom and feeling better about, summer and having less tub rub in your thighs and all those things that you're going to see from this program, you should also be able to see amazing health benefits from the doctor. So that's one thing I'm really pushing and recommending to people, is that you do like take those baseline labs, because you'll likely see a lot of your health improve in the process.
Okay, I do have a question over here from Rhonda. She says, I have an overweight, food addicted child, sounds like you. Can you speak to how we can incorporate 2B with our kids?
I really have, in my private practice, I love working with teenagers. They're my favorite population because that's when I had the maturity and the mindset switch and real motivation to do it. Weight loss formal weight loss programs just don't work under 12, under 13. You just can't be ready. The temptations are too strong. I've worked with tons and tons and tons in my private practice. It's really hard. It really comes down to the parents at that point. And I know parents don't want to say that and they don't want to believe it. And they, really want to blame the school lunches and blame the play dates and blame the grandparents. But a lot really does come down to the home. And I really recommend parents do this program first and foremost. When parents do this program and they do it well and they commit to it, the kids benefit tremendously. And we've seen from the test groups, brilliant things that occur, kids eating so much better, so much smarter, the whole family improving, and has a wonderful cascading effect that really occurs when the parents start doing it. So my best recommendation is you do this for you focus on being a role model for your child, have that be another point of motivation for you to do really well, and your kids will benefit in that result. And, if your kid wants to sit on your lap while I'm talking about food groups, or wants to sit on your lap when I'm talking about, a best way to approach a meal or a party, like that could be positive and that could be fine, but they won't have to follow it to a T like you'll be doing, and they'll still be able to see a health benefit and result. So I really don't recommend anyone formally do this program until they are super responsible and mature teenager, obviously with doctor's permission and
All right, last question, and I think we gotta let you go, Mama. Christy's asking how does she know how much to eat depending on her workout? So if she's like doing super intense workouts and running half marathon training 6 miles on Saturday, but then on Sunday and Monday doing yoga, does she need to adjust the guidelines that you've given us based on exercise, or is she just?
I will say one of the biggest causes of obesity in America, and there are several, and I say this all the time, but the truth is one of the biggest causes of obesity in America is that we overestimate how much we're burning in a workout, and we underestimate how much we're eating in our food. We see it over and over again. In the past 30 years, our obesity epidemic has skyrocketed, and actually more gym memberships have been taken, and actually exercising in our country has improved. Very likely thanks to Beachbody. A lot of people are exercising more, and that's wonderful. With this program, you start to realize like what your body really needs, and it works for you really, really well. If you have to work out, if you're working out more, you're doing a marathon, or whatever it is, you'll learn if you need to eat more, what to do. Lara and Denis from FNR, the Food and Nutrition and Results team at Beachbody, produced a video that comes out on May 2nd just for coaches, discussing on how to modify your nutrition plan, if at all, doing the program. So you'll get that, but you just do the program and you'll see if you need to eat more because you're marathoning, you'll learn like what more you would need. But it's probably on those yoga days that you'll get a better perspective of what your body really needs to feel good and be satisfied and lose weight. And then you'll go from there and see like how different you would need to modify for a running day, which is likely not, 5 slices of bread or, carb loading or like 6 extra bananas. You'll probably realize like, it's maybe an applesauce cup or something like that.
So refreshing.
Yeah. It's sad. I was there. It's so sad to me. Like when I go to a spin class in LA and it's 45-minute class and everyone's wearing these heart monitors telling them they burned like 6,000 calories. And then I watch them like literally go next door and get these like 10,000 calorie acai bowls or granola things and or post-workout smoothies with like tons of nut butter and maple syrup in them or whatever it is. And like, it's just, we do this. We like, self-sabotage the benefits of our workout. And so many people feel like they're overly disciplined in the challenge of their workout. And so they, release and let go in their eating. And it really has to be the other way around, that food is everything. Your eating should stay consistent and the exercise weaves in as extra credit and a positive thing to it. And if you need an extra snack or whatever it is, you'll learn how to approach it, but you really got to get the eating in a good place, because I can't even tell you, marathons specifically, I can't even tell you how many people have come to me and told me that they've run marathons and gained weight. And that to me, like, makes me so sad, because it's a lot of effort you're putting in to not really get to those end goals that you were aiming for. And with this program, you will get those incredible lean results. And then when you weave in exercise, you'll just get fitter, stronger, leaner, and the results you really have been wanting to see.
For sure. Okay, I think we're out of time unless you have.
Someone wrote,
oh,
it's for people who don't need to lose weight. Yes, absolutely. I mean, we have seen consistently with the test groups, people do this program who have no weight to lose, but just doing the program, learning the system, learning how I approach food and how you're going to start looking at food, you're just going to develop a healthier relationship with food in your body. Which so many coaches have said and reported that, they no longer think about foods as cheats. They no longer feel like they have to do double workouts after having something. They no longer view themselves as bad. They start looking at themselves as human when they have a slice of pizza. And they just evolve into a healthier relationship with food in their body, which is so much more freeing and sustainable. So yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we're all excited. They all want to start like now.
I love you, Nicole. Thank you everyone for being on.
We love you too.
You guys can do it. You can do it. America can do it. We can do it. We can do it. We can all do it.
Yes.
I just happily more freeing. I'm not going to say it's not going to take effort. Of course it's going to take effort. Like we all got to make changes, clearly, but it works. It's positive. It's possible. It's to me, like, Nicole, that question of like, did anyone not see results? If you're so focused on the fact that you're not going to see results, you're not going to see results. You just won't. You're just going to be so much more focused on self-sabotaging. So be way more focused on being curious and open-minded than you are being skeptical and holding yourself back. That's all it takes. Okay. All right. Love you guys.
Thank you. We're excited.
Make it work for you. Your bodies love losing weight. I love you guys.
Thanks, Nicole. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Bye, guys.